Yeah. Hey y'all, I'm Stephanie and welcome back to my channel. Today I have a sort of like bookish discussion. Do any of you ever put yourself on a book buying ban? Because I've done that to myself. I'm not exactly succeeding because I have been buying books, but I have definitely slowed down on how many books I was purchasing. I did this thing that I swore I wasn't going to do when I started my booktube channel, where I just started like buying up books like crazy. And at first it was okay because I was reading so much that my sort of like TBR shelf never got too out of control. Like I never had more than 2 or 3 like physical TBR books in like my possession. And then they started piling up. I stopped reading so much. Like after the booktubeathon, I don't know if that was just me doing too much at one time or what was going on, but when I got finished with the booktubeathon, I just hit a slump, and it's been really hard for me to break out of it. And my TBR, my physical TBR, started getting way too long. I had 12 books, I think, at one point that I owned and had not read. So I told myself, okay, I'm going to put myself on a book buying ban. I'm not going to put a time length on it. It's entirely dependent on knocking out this shelf. So I told myself that when I got down to like 3 books left on the shelf, then I would be allowed to purchase more books. So, can I tell you that I have only read like 3 books in the last 2 months? It's insane. It's a combination of things. It's partially me just being super lazy and doing the easy thing and just like binging Netflix instead of picking up a book, which is a bad habit to get into. It's partially the fact that, I always hate when people say they don't have time for things, because nobody really doesn't have the time to do things. It's just that you don't make time to do things. But I feel like I haven't had the time to. I babysit during the day, and then after that, I'm beat, and I just kind of want to veg out in front of the TV. Or on the weekends where I would normally like hang out and socialize one night and then spend the rest of the time reading or, whatever. Reading or whatever. I'm so great at this. I haven't been doing that lately. I have been defaulting to watching a lot of TV, which I don't even like TV, if we're being honest. I have been, my mom and I like to pick a show every now and then that we watch together. We'll start from the beginning and we'll watch all of it all the way through. Like we'll binge several seasons. Like we did that with Gilmore Girls. We did it with, I don't know, some other show. It's a thing that we do on a fairly regular basis. Well, my whole family, the thing that we all used to do together was watch Big Brother and Buy, which that I have never done that. That's a thing that my entire family would do, and I would be like, I hate that show, it's utter garbage, see you later. Well, the season started, a while back, and Mom hadn't been watching it. My sister has been, and so she was like, the show's so good, you guys have to watch it, you have to get caught up. So me and my mom like binged a shit ton of Big Brother. Anyway, been watching a lot of TV, and I just haven't been reading as much, and part of the problem is that I'm a mood reader. It's hard for me to, you're never gonna see me be a person to do like a monthly TBR or like a seasonal TBR. That's not gonna be me. I'll do TBRs for readathons, because, especially ones that have challenges, because you kind of have to plan ahead for that. And also it helps me, like if I have like a list planned out, it's like, all right, well, this is what I know I need to get accomplished, and sometimes I do, sometimes I don't. But that helps. So like for TBRs or for readathons and stuff, I'll do it, but just like on a seasonal or monthly basis, I know that's the thing a lot of people do, is like, here's my October TBR. Nope. No can do. And I think that for me, that's part of the problem with a book buying ban, is when I buy books, I buy them based on my mood. And then if I'm not in the mood to read them, I don't read them. So right now, I have managed to knock out a few books off of my, like, instead of 12, I'm down to 1, 2, 6, maybe? 5 or 6, I think. And some of those are books that since I purchased, like, I've had them on my TBR shelf for a long time, and that I don't have any interest in reading them. The Black Prism by Brent Weeks, that book is A, gargantuan, and B, is just, it's not something that I intend to read. Oh, it's starting to get dark. Shit. So, I don't know. That's a thing. But I feel like, I guess what I'm trying to say, I'm not trying to make excuses, but I feel like part of the problem with me not reading as much lately is that I put myself on this book buying ban to try to save money because I have all of these books at home. I don't need to buy more books. I have books. I need to read the books that I already have, but I'm just not in the mood to read those books. And so instead of reading books that I already own and not purchasing new ones, I'm just not reading at all, which is not getting me any closer to my goal of, like, read all of these books and then you can buy more books, which leads to me drinking too much and then, like, buying a bunch of shit on Amazon that I don't need, like a bunch of books on Amazon that I don't need. I don't know. It's just, I don't know. Is it just me? Am I the only... I guess that's the whole point of this is, like, is it just me? Am I the only person that does this? Like, do you do book buying bans for yourself? Or, like, how do you handle it when you come into these situations? I also know that a lot of people just go to the library, which is great. My nearest branch of my local library is kind of... It's very small, and they don't have a very large selection, so I just stopped going. There is a bigger branch that probably has a better selection, but A, I've never been, so I don't know for sure, and B, it's on a side of town that is, like, horrendous traffic, and I hate going over there, so I use that as a reason to not go as well. I'm trying to amp myself up to get over that, but it's a lot easier said than done. Especially because since I was, God, wow, what is this video? Who even knows? Is this how little discussions are supposed to go? I don't think it is. This is basically just me telling you about my life. Since I was little, I've always had this, like, grand idea in my head, because I've always been such a reader, that I was going to buy all of my books so that one day when I had my own house, I could have my own personal library in my house. And that's a really, like, shitty, spoiled, privileged thing to do and to say, but for whatever reason, like, it stuck with me. So it's also really hard for me to just, like, borrow books from the library or from another person. I'm starting to get a little better. I've been borrowing books from my friends instead of purchasing them. But then if I read it and I like it, I'm like, well, I need to own that now, so it's on my to purchase eventually list. So, I don't know. What is the point of this video? Book buying bans. How do you feel about them? Are you for them? Are you against them? Do you do it? How do you handle it? Are you as much of a fucking disaster with it as I am? Who knows? Comment down below. Aren't you glad I opened another beer? It's excellent. Bye, y'all.